Let's start putting together our recipe website. Start a new file and save it as recipes.html. Now, again, every HTML page has these basic tags, so you can stick in what we had before. You have the doc type at the top, and then there's the HTML tags, and inside those HTML tags, we have head/head, body, and /body. So the first thing that we need in our recipe website is the title, which is in the head tag. So we'll just put the title as recipe, because that's pretty basic. Now we'll move into the body tag. Now our recipe needs a few things. It has a title of what the recipe is, it has a picture of what the recipe will consist of, it has a list of ingredients, and then directions on how to actually follow the recipe. And so we're going to be using almost all the tags that we've talked about so far. So the first thing we'll need is a heading tag. Let's do H1. We're just going to title this Strawberry Oatmeal. Now this is pretty straightforward so far. Now let's add our image. And so if you'll recall, we'll have the image tag, which is just its own tag. It doesn't have a concluding tag. And we're going to put the source. Now, we might have said before that you can either put a URL of an image or the file path. Now, we didn't describe the file path too much. The file path is where the image is relative to your current file in your computer. And so right now we have our recipes.html saved in the same folder as our image. So we're going to just type in the image file name, which is straw.jpg. Because the image is in the same folder as our file, we're able to just put the file name of that image. If we were to put it in a separate folder, we would just have to have the path for that. So for example, if we have a folder called images and then have the file in there, we would type images/straw.jpg. But we have it in the same one, so we'll leave it at that. So now we need a list of ingredients, and we're going to need a list. But before we start that list, we have to say what the list will be. Let's have a paragraph tag, and it'll say that we need the ingredients. And now we will have an unordered list that consists of all the ingredients that we'll need. So the ingredients that we're going to need for this strawberry oatmeal are strawberries, we're going to need oatmeal, and a little bit of love. Let's check it out in the browser. Now, if you'll notice, our picture is pretty huge, and that might happen once in a while. So let's change the size of it. Let's go back to our code, and remember when I said that there are ways of styling things in the HTML? We're going to do that right now. So add a style attribute, equals and then in quotes, and then do the word width, colon, and let's just say 200 pixels. So notice that pixels is represented in px, and 200 pixels is a small enough size that it's pretty reasonable, and you'll be able to see how the image is adjusted in just a second. So let's save and then go back to the browser. Whoa, it actually looks reasonable now. So now we have the image of what we actually want to make, we have the ingredients, and we have the title. Let's actually move on to how we're going to make this. Now we're going to have another paragraph that'll explain that the next part of it is going to be directions. Let's actually put this in an ordered list, so that way people can follow it step by step. In this ordered list, we actually need to give directions to the user. Now, you can kind of play around with this however you want, but let's just add a few things. For example, add the ingredients to a bowl. And then the next item is stir the ingredients. And then the next item, let's put everything in a microwave and heat it up for 30 seconds. All right, that sounds like the best oatmeal I've ever had. Let's save it and check it out in the browser. Now that we've opened the page in the browser, you can see that we have our ingredients and we have our directions for how to make the best oatmeal you've ever had. So that's just about it. You can actually see how what we've learned so far can be applied to a real-life application, and now you can make as many recipes as you want.